Okie dokie. I believe we are live. Yep, we're good to go. What's going on, guys? Another day, another dollar. Wednesday, 26 May. With me, Daniel. We are MIKI'S stocks and we're doing the pre-market preparation like always every day from Monday to Thursday. And today, obviously, like always, we have lots of major news, good stocks to follow and watch, hot stocks after earnings, and other news. And obviously, later on, we will analyze some charts so you can know exactly how to trade this day the best way you can and be prepared to what's coming next. So before we'll begin, let's bring up this intro, and in a second we'll continue. I like it. I like it a lot. I cannot lie.
Intro?
Yep, it's a cool
Yeah, I think
intro.
it's pretty awesome.
Thanks. Okay, I'm Michael Katz, the CEO of MIKI'S stocks. Been trading for the last 15 years. Stocks, commodities, mostly day trading, some just a little bit swing. And with me, Daniel. Hey, Daniel, what's going on?
Hey, Mickey, nice to see you this morning. Hope you're doing well. So, guys, I'm Daniel. As you know, I trade with Mickey, and right now I'm going to go over the news for the day. Not that much crazy news going on. Lucky for us, there's no wars or anything going on, but stocks are continuing to rise on easing inflation fears. As you guys know, in the last couple of weeks, the market has been very bearish on inflation fears, but luckily it looks like the market is starting to calm down. We have some really big news on the earnings front. NVDA. Mickey, you excited for the NVDA earnings?
Yeah, I mean, we know that NVDA, like we mentioned yesterday, knows how to move on news, and we just need to find the right setups and make sure we not get manipulated because there are a lot of stop hunting in those kind of stocks.
So, guys, today remember NVDA is going to be everyone's watch list. So there's going to be a lot of volatility, a lot of manipulations. Be careful. Don't put your stops too tight. Give yourself some room, but don't overdo it. And just one more thing on the NVDA front, guys. NVDA's facing is going to do a 4-to-1 stock split, and we know that when Apple had a 4-to-1 stock split, that really gave the stock some nice volatility and some nice price action. So keep that in mind. Other earnings, but not really that important, are Snow, OKTA, and Workday. But those aren't really popping up on our scanners for the day. So if they come up, they come up. But meanwhile, we don't really see them as a trading opportunity. AMC and GME are extending their gains. Mickey, have you traded at AMC and GME, those Wall Street bet stocks?
I mean, AMC, I took it, as I mentioned before, I took it from the bottom, pretty much from the bottom, took it all the way up to the 20s. Didn't sell because I just actually didn't look. It was my mistake. And when it dropped down, I just waited because there was nothing to me to go to exit the trade. So I just waited and sold it at about 13 or 14 after that. Um,
That's pretty good.
yeah, it was a nice trade, although I could have made much more. On GME, I didn't do shit about it, actually. I saw it. It was crazy because I saw it like maybe 2 months before it popped. I looked into the charts and it was looking pretty good to the upside, but I just didn't push the button.
Hashtag YOLO trading, everyone. Don't do that. It's a joke. Um, on the earnings, on the news front for today, nothing major. We have some oil inventories at around 10:30, and we have an FOMC speaker at 10. But we all know what the FOMC speaker is going to say. He's going to ease the inflation and talk about transitory inflation, which means the inflation is temporary. and they're going to do their best to keep markets quiet. The Fed speakers are usually 90% of the time they all speak the same. It's all very curated, so we're not really expecting anything crazy. 50% of U.S. adults vaccinated. We do know in the states there's a really big political divide on the vaccinations. The Republicans don't want to, the Democrats do want to. So the country is waiting to see what happens with COVID cases and other things. Other front, big banks are testifying before Congress today. Banks don't really trade well. Mickey, what are your thoughts on trading bank stocks?
I mean, in general, there was a time to buy them when probably 3 months ago when they got approved to buy back. Do you remember this time?
I think so. I also remember them doing some changes to bank trading rules on the Volcker rule,
Mhm.
but besides that, I don't remember much. Mickey, so what are your thoughts on this? You're gonna trade the stocks today, the bank stocks, because BAC is trading pretty well in the free market.
Again, it's not my kind of stocks, the BAC. Also, JP, I don't like them, but I do like Goldman. Again, lots of manipulation in Goldman, but I like it because as soon as it goes to the right direction, it can be an amazing trade, usually a nice momentum move. So just be careful. By the way, let's give it a tip here. When we're talking about manipulation, we're basically saying that market makers are dropping the price down in order to take the stop losses of the retail traders, and from there, when the retail trader is selling, the institutions can buy basically, right? So they're buying a lot of shares in a great price. One of the tricks to find out before if if there is a possible manipulation on the way is watching the volume while we consolidate. For example, if we're looking at a bull flag, right, a move up and then consolidation. In this consolidation, if we will look and see a high volume coming in, then we can expect or an increase of the manipulation, like a possible manipulation coming. So this is one of the tricks you can watch for.
Mickey, so you're saying that Goldman Sachs manipulates its own stock price? Wow, I never saw that coming. Thank you.
All right.
I thought these bankers
Big
loved us.
news, big news. Yeah.
Yeah. More on the EV front today. Ford, as an American, as you can see the flag in the background, as a proud American, wink, wink, Ford is announcing is going to make an electric truck. Now, Ford is not going to trade very well. We discussed this yesterday, but the fact that bigger names look, the EV space now is a bunch of small companies. These small companies are they're benefiting from first mover advantage. But when companies like Ford and GE and Mercedes, Daimler in Germany, they move into the EV space, they have unlimited liquidity and limited leverage because every bank will lend them money. So as we see, big names like Ford move to the EV space, we have to see how the market reacts to the smaller companies like even Tesla in this case is going to be affected, but companies like NIO or Workhorse, because these companies don't have the cash to basically burn like these larger companies do. So, Mickey, what are your thoughts on how the Ford and other companies moving to the EV space is going to affect the market?
Okay, I actually thought of asking you the same because we always talked about like XPEV and Tesla and so on, and
Yeah.
but as soon as the big ones like Ford and Mercedes and others will jump in and with full power, there will be hard competition to Tesla at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, GE, Tesla produces what? Barely any cars and they're worth more than like the top five automakers in the world. Toyota literally owns a city in Japan. So the economies of scale, like the production and the R&D and the deals that Toyota or GM can get compared to Tesla, is really going to damage their market share. I think this is going to. This is my thoughts. I think we're going to see an unwinding in the EV space. As rates rise and inflation fears, people start taking profits. And as these companies get lower, I think we're going to see a couple companies, get bought up by the bigger players. What are your thoughts on that? You think I'm on the right space here?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. My thoughts are the same here.
On the not so important, but we do have some oil news. There's some apparently I haven't really read much into this, but apparently the whole market is watching Exxon, Exxon is one of the biggest names in oil. I think BlackRock is the biggest asset manager in the world. They own about 20% of Exxon, which is huge.
Hmm.
So a lot of funds, like asset managers, banks, pension funds, high net worth individuals, they own Exxon to get exposure.
Right.
And the Exxon board is, not rioting literally, but there's infighting between how they should address climate change. So this can really affect the entire oil sector and oil permits and everything, because the amount of money that Exxon spends on lobbying is insane. So if Exxon has some significant changes in the oil space, they can affect smaller companies. So I'm not saying trade Exxon, but as this news develops, we're going to pay attention to it more. Mickey, what are your thoughts? You're not going to trade Exxon today?
Yeah, that's a great. That's super interesting what you're saying because Exxon it's like the Apple of
Yeah,
the energy, right?
yeah,
So so yeah, when like a major thing happening in the largest company like Exxon, it will definitely affect the other stocks as well. So all the sector is doomed to like
and
either.
remember, guys, oil in America, which is the largest oil market in the world at the moment, don't argue in China, is heavily involved with the federal government. They have to compete for federal land. So when a company like Exxon has some moves, it's going to trickle down regulation, and that can seriously affect smaller growth oil names. So just bear in mind and be careful trading oil. On the other front, gold, oil, and Bitcoin are all are all bullish. We're seeing gold near 2,000, while the dollar is getting weaker. That's good for the market. That means investors are putting their market back into the assets in the less feared of an inflation bubble. Mickey, what are your thoughts on this? You're going to be trading gold today? Gold's nearing 2,000.
We will actually watch in a second. We will analyze the charts of gold and oil, and to see if we have anything going on from that angle as well. Lots
That
of
sounds
money,
good.
yeah, lots of money moving again. We talked about it yesterday, like separately. There's a lot of opportunities out there, not just in the stocks, for example. So lots of young people are looking to invest their money and just to trade and try to get more return. And basically, it's either moving to crypto or then going to gold and then going to oil and then to other new trading markets that come in. So super interesting.
Yeah, but guys, as more people, young people are less experienced, so they're trading. We saw this when the lockdowns first happened, and people were trading, but a lot of smaller names were mostly retail traders. They didn't know exactly what they were doing, so a lot of the price action became ridiculously choppy. So just be careful with that. But regarding gold, gold is arguably one of the most manipulated and controlled markets in the world. I think like five central banks basically control the entire market for gold. So be careful when you're trading gold. And it's a lot better to trade smaller golder names because those are less manipulated than the bigger gold market. But in general, it's going to be interesting for gold because a lot of everyone watches gold, everyone loves gold, especially bigger investors. And there's talks of bigger banks like throwing away Bitcoin and buying gold. So let's see how the market reacts to that.
Cool. Yeah.
And Mickey, I think we should take it to the charts and go over some moving stocks for today. Let's
Let's
open the charts for today.
let's do that. Okay.
Yeah,
So first we will start with some futures contracts. So we'll cover the indices and then, like I mentioned, we'll do some crude oil and some gold. Again, if we are looking at the Nasdaq on the left side, upper left side, we're looking at the Nasdaq on a 4-hour chart. As we mentioned earlier this week, we said that the price should continue higher and look for pullbacks. It did yesterday a nice pullback, and then at the moment pushing higher, trying to reach that 13,790 ish or 13,800, and it should continue to that direction in my opinion. The same if we're looking at ES S&P 500 also on a 4-hour chart, and we're looking here at the bottom, looking pretty good to the upside again. When we're looking at a 4-hour chart, we might see a drop today or tomorrow and so on, but eventually, as we're looking at it in a bigger picture, then we can say that the price should continue higher. Obviously, like I just said, during the day we will probably have some reversals along the way that we can trade intraday. If we're looking at crude, let's start with that. CL, it's the symbol. I'm going to a 1H chart. At the moment, consolidating between 65.50 to 66.50. And one of the scenarios that you can start working toward is basically breaking this support level at 65.50, then retesting it as resistance, and from that point look for the downside on gold. It should continue all the way to at least 64.80, the next liquidity area. So this one basically. So if the price will drop and retest as a resistance, definitely look for the downside about 70 cents. That's a nice trade. Going up, in case we're going up, you can look for the same scenario, just breaking through this 66.35, retesting it as support, and from that point look for the upside. At the moment looking bearish than bullish, but we will see. Remember guys that the main thing that we are doing is not we don't have a crystal ball, right? So what we need to do is basically create scenarios, and as soon as we will see one of the scenarios acting, then we can execute. So just remember that. Don't ever try to predict. I don't really know what will happen, but I know that if X will happen, then I can go ahead and do Y. So this is crude for the moment. Obviously intraday you can also try to trade it. It will be a little bit aggressive, but for those of you advanced traders, definitely you can go ahead and trade crude on even on a 1 minute chart, reversal mostly. And gold, like you mentioned, Daniel, reaching higher at the moment, 1910. I don't see here on a 1H, I don't see something that we can do right now. Let me try to take a bigger picture. Time frame. Yeah, plenty of room to the upside. Although it's a bit stretched, but plenty of room to
If
the
gold
upside.
breaks out, I'm gonna cry. If gold breaks out, I'm gonna cry. About 2 years ago, I bought a lot of gold stock and I sold it. So I bought a lot. Like I bought a Ferrari at this point. Okay.
Classy.
Anyway,
Um,
yeah.
it does look good to the upside. Maybe a nice pullback to this resistance support level. So dropping down to this level will be just a little bit more than what I would have expected. But let's say pulling back to the 1850 and from that point moving higher. Don't see a reason why not at the moment.
I'm noticing something interesting on the QQQ when we get to it.
Okay, let's get to that.
Let me find it. So I was doing my daily levels, and around 334, 335, on January May 7th, the market tried to break that level, and it formed a doji, and then that's when the crash happened. So I'm wondering to myself, if we try to break that level today, are we going to see like a breakout and then a reversal after the breakout, and the market's going to go back to that level? Because this 335 seems to be a serious level when you go historically speaking for the last couple of months. So what are your thoughts on that? I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I got muted.
Yeah.
So, Sen, we covered that yesterday that we marked the levels here, and the resistance level worked perfectly. The close of the gap held the Nasdaq. I'm guessing if it will push just a little bit higher to, like you mentioned, the 335, it should um, again act as resistance. If we will break that level, break through that level, then we got plenty of room to the upside, maybe even to 340 eventually.
Well, the market is eventually going to go higher unless something drastic happens. The question is when and where, and are we going to get stopped out easily? Remember, guys, you can have the great idea but still be wrong in management, so be careful.
That's true. Let's take some stocks for today. Mostly after earnings, besides those that we covered. So Urban Outfitter, URBN, moving higher. URBN moving higher after a nice earnings report. Opening at the moment at least at 39. That's a $4 move to the upside. If we're looking at the daily chart, we got a nice resistance around this area of
Wow.
39.50. What's wow?
GME's at 230.
Yeah. So yeah, nice resistance level at 39.50. Other than that, if we will break through that level, we got plenty of room to the upside. So either make sure if you're trading before the 39.50 that you got enough room to take your partial, and if not, just wait for it to break through that level, retest it intraday, and then go long from that point. You got plenty of room again to the upside, at least to the 41. So make sure you are above the 39.50, and if you're getting before that, just keep an eye so you will take your partial just before that. URBN from the same sector, JWN. JWN closed 36.45, dropping $2 at the moment. I like these stocks intraday, although sometimes you can see a big spread between the bid and the ask, but it knows how to move. 34.50, let's see. 34.50 at the moment. So you got the level at 34, the round number, and also nice like 4 or 5 times that it already touched there. 33 and 90. So make sure you don't short it below before that. Only after it will break through that or break that, and then all the way down to the 31.90, the beginning of the gap here. 200 EMA also closed there. So this could be a great short. Just make sure you enter at the right time. INTU. Do you know this company, Daniel? Are you familiar with
INTU,
them?
no, I haven't. I'm not familiar with INTU.
Okay, at the moment, not a lot of volume, but after earnings as well, 448. So we'll keep an eye. We'll see if the volume is coming in. P. Diddy, not the rapper, the stock.
P. Diddy.
So 138. This is a nice momentum move, almost $8 up. 138. Let's see that. 138, it's here. So this is pretty nice. Also above, look at that EMA, the 50 EMA in the blue line that acted as resistance here, then yesterday as well. Right now we open above it, so this is great. One of the things that we can look to see in this stock is basically dropping to that moving average, the 50 moving average, and from that point look for the upside or break through the 138, retest it as support, and from there look to the upside. Again, plenty of room to the upside, at least to the 43, 143. So lots of room to make a trade. This definitely should be on your chart today and look for the trade there. At the moment, my favorite.
INTU?
PDD.
PDD.
Gotta say,
PDDY.
gotta say that I don't like the rapper, but the stock looking great.
What's the symbol? PD for everyone? PDI?
No, PDD.
Oh,
P
PG's.
PWD.
I got it. Okay, yeah.
Okay, and DKS uh, Rock Sky 92 at the moment. All
Dick's
time
Sporting Center. I know this store very well.
all time high at the moment in
You know
pre-market.
why?
Why?
Everyone got Dick's Sporting Center is a store you go to buy like outdoor and workout gear and stuff. So people went to buy all their workout gear and outdoor stuff because of lockdowns.
Okay, yeah. So actually, so you're saying that it's a sport to the outdoors?
Yeah, like you buy like sports or camping equipment or golf equipment or stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I just did myself. I went to camping during the rocket things here in Israel, and
How was that?
I went to camping in the north, so we had some quiet time there. But yeah, I bought like camping gear and all of that. So DKS up 92. Not a lot to say besides the fact that it's moving pretty nicely, and maybe we will see the momentum continue. You can maybe try to find support at the high, like the last all-time high at 91.80. Maybe look for a support there. Other than that, look for the flags, maybe some support levels intraday, for example, this pivot at 91.65, and yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean we have a lot of. I have a lot on my list today. Um, just guys, remember on the open to be careful before you get inside, especially with a stock like DKS. Institutionals probably own it. Larger share size, there could be an easy fade on the open, and then the stock could reverse upwards.
Hmm.
So just be careful when you enter in the stock. Don't rush. Plan your trade accordingly. Don't get faded out easily because you want to catch all-time highs. A stock like this would probably sell off at the open because people probably bought it overnight for options or investors who want to trade the earnings. People who have it long term want to sell, and then no institution is going to buy it up the open right away. So they might a little bit. So just give it some room to play out. It's my opinion. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, that's a great 2 cents because it should drop at the beginning of the session. Lots of people that bought it yesterday or even a few days before making money, so they are putting some of that in the pocket, and basically it's all-time high. So institutions don't really like to buy all-time high. So we might see a drop at the beginning, look for support levels, and then you can go ahead and open a position.
As well, guys, we're probably going to see some insider trading, executing trades. Because if I work for DKS, I'm selling my shares to, if I'm
As soon as the ring drop.
gonna market on open order now, sell, get me out. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, as far as my news goes, I'm looking at AMC for a fade. The stock is just popping up, and we saw a really nice breakout on the daily chart. And
Right.
I'm thinking I'm going to fade it. I'm going to wait for the stock to bounce up at the open, and all these redditors and all these Robinhood people get inside. Then it's going to hit a level and then crash. Then I'm going to look for the stock to crash and then make a new low. And as I see some kind of structure on the new low, I'm going to enter it on a flag hopefully. But with these kind of AMC's and all these kind of Robinhood names, AMC, GME, or even NIO, these favorites for the retailers, the open can be really choppy. And institutions like the trap beginner, so I'm going to look for some really, really clear price action before I get inside, and multiple confirmations.
Yeah, on AMC, we also said that yesterday above 1450, that it's looking pretty good to the upside after this cup and handle in the daily chart. Going higher today around the 18, getting into that huge gap from the 20 to the 17. So this is uh, a great position for it. And like you mentioned, if it will drop to the 17, then you could definitely look to the upside. GME reacting the same, going super high yesterday in the middle of the day, breaking through this resistance level around the 181.80. Now trading at 232. Let's see, it's on the chart, 232.
I remember someone in one of my groups said he's holding it at 160. I'm like, why would you hold it at 160? Now it's at 230. I
So
mean,
so he did good.
yeah, but this whole period of this everything's gone crazy. I mean, look, I love GameStop. I spent my childhood there. The stock's not worth $230 a share.
Not
Maybe
even
20,
close. Not even close.
maybe $10 at most. Nobody's hemorrhaging cash.
Yeah,
It's just
but this is another great example on how the market works, and
yeah,
it's not about real value. It's about
complicated financial instruments, leverage, and how people get trapped.
yeah, yeah, you said it right. Now on
Yeah.
the GME, when I'm looking right now, there's again plenty of room to the upside. No one should start selling. I mean, no one like big people not supposed to sell around this candle. So we got plenty of room to 280 even 275. So I don't know if it will happen today, but definitely one to keep an eye on. You will see lots of manipulation until it occurred, but yeah, definitely.
I mean, AMC and GME have pretty much the same charts at different
Yeah,
prices.
yeah,
This whole thing has just been. I was watching a video this morning on the whole Reddit fiasco, and it just makes you want to trade less.
yeah. And
Oh God,
depends on which stocks.
yeah.
Okay, guys, so I guess we had the market preparation. Are you ready to trade? Don't get out of focus. Keep your eyes on the price, on those stocks that we mentioned. You don't really need more than that in order to really trade. Find stocks to trade and then trade it. Just work with your plan. Daniel, final thoughts?
We're seeing several stocks today that have made incredible moves. Don't fall for the trap. It moves so high, it will go up. You continue. I'm getting fear, FOMO or fear of missing out. Be careful. Wait for a pullback, and don't rush into any trades, especially on days like today. There's going to be a lot of nonsense in the markets. A lot of nonsense. So just be careful, everyone.
Okay, guys, cool. So we'll see you tomorrow, same hour. Make sure you like, subscribe. If you have your stocks, bring them so we can analyze them together. Take care. Have a great trading day.